Ahoy there, Kumi here! Today I'll be building the KBD67 Lite Round 3. This is a 65% gasket mounted board that comes in at just $119 and is in stock right now to buy. The board has been very well received by the community and is basically undisputed as the best budget keyboard to date. Disclaimer, I got my board second hand, so your unboxing experience may differ. The kit comes in a nice fabric case, and opening it up we'll be starting with the hardware. These are the plate and extra case screws, extra top case silicone dampeners, a mini hex screwdriver, stabilizer shims, and extra bumpers aka keyboard feet. I got a set of Durock screw-in stabs, but the stock kit will come with the KBD fans OEM screw-in stabilizers. Now we come to the case, which is made of ABS plastic and has the KBD fans logo etched into the back. Coming to the side profile, it is a 6-degree typing angle. Moving on to the PCB, this is the KBD67 Mark II RGB V3 PCB. It sports KEL hot swap sockets and supports 5-pin switches. There is south-facing per key LED and VIA and QMK compatibility, as well as screw-in stab support. Under the PCB, we have the polycarbonate plate that comes with the kit stock. However, the plate file is actually open source on KBD Fans website, so you can get it custom cut in basically any material, like this POM one I have here. Next is the silicone plate dampener that also doubles as the gasket for this board, which you can see molded into the silicone. This is quite the ingenious idea, as I imagine it cuts down on costs and works decently well to add flex. Lastly, we come to the case foam and the telephone coil USB cable. I'd also like to point out that the top case actually has metal standoffs, which minimises the chance of stripping/cracking, which the NK65 entry edition is so prone to. The top case also has silicone pieces to presumably help with the acoustics of the board. Now, I did say this was round 3 of the board, and there are some subtle differences from the previous rounds. Firstly, there are more colourways this round with an impressive offering of 8. Round 3 also offers an ISO option for the PCB, which was previously unavailable. You can also opt in to a silicone case dampener for an extra $18 if you prefer a more muted sound. Overall, this is incredible value for the price, especially considering the kit went for a low $99 on Black Friday, its release date. The only negative thing I would say is that the board is a tad hollow without the silicone case dampener, but then gets too muted with it. However, this is a problem modding can solve, so it's kinda moot. The switch of choice for this build are the Durock sunflowers. These are the tactile version of the Durock POMs that I used on my last build, meaning the housing is fully POM. The stem is presumably a different blend of mystery material, and I know this sounds kinda weird, but the switch feels quite smooth, like if we get past the whole tactile bump thing. This is a 5-pin switch with 67-gram gold-plated springs stock. The grey housing combined with a bright yellow stem fits very well with its name. Here is the stock sound test. A bit pingy, as expected of a tactile. There is no north-south or east-west wobble, and the housing is quite tight, so I'm going to forego filming this time round. Let's see how that works out. I lubed the housing and stems, excluding the legs, with Tribosis 3203, and went over the leaf with dielectric grease to help with that leaf ping. The springs got the usual Cryotox 105 tub lube treatment. Here is the modded sound test. Begin the building process by disassembling the case. Note that the top 4 screws are in quite deep, so be careful not to strip them. Once done, we'll be starting with the stabs as always. If you'd like a detailed rundown on how I mod my stabs, please check out my Keycron Q1 vid in the top right info card. Mod-wise, we'll be using PE foam and the tape mod. Now lay the PE foam, silicone dampener and plate onto the PCB. Note that there are plate to PCB screws, however I choose not to use them as it generally improves the acoustics of the board. Next, the switches can be popped in. For the bottom case there is ribbing, which presumably helps with the structure of the board, but I'm going to be filling it with foam, so I'm going to remove all the excess plastic. I don't think this matters, but do it at your own risk. I also sanded the case for good measure. Now lay in the case foam and a layer of PE foam. I cut some packing foam to size so that the PCB will sit at the correct height. Finally, we can finish the assembly process by putting in the PCB and plate assembly and sliding on the top case. Flip it over and screw in the 8 hex screws. Note that this can be a tad difficult as the board is quite full, so start by only screwing in half of each screw and go in a crisscross pattern to put less strain on the standoffs. Once they're all in, you can fully screw in the hex screws. Overall, I'm super happy with the build and I can see why this board is the go-to budget keyboard as of right now. It feels great for the price and sounds even better. The POM plate seems clackier to me, with the poly plate being deeper and providing more of that sought after marbly sound. The polycarbonate plate also disperses the RGB better, if that matters to you. The Durock sunflowers feel great and are probably the cleanest sounding tactiles I've had so far. I popped in some Alpacas as my linear reference for this board and I like the sound of this configuration best out of everything I've built so far. The spacebar is literally made of marble. Any and all feedback is welcome. Sound test incoming in 3, 2, 1.